All right, guys, we are back in the GPURisers mining bunker, and in today's video, I am going to go ahead and start on our RX 6600 rig build. So we have 11 of these RX 6600s. We have Gigabytes, we have Power Color Hellhounds, and we have Power Color Fighters. And we also have a XFX that we are going to be using from our AMD holding rig down there. Now, prior to this build, we had 4 of them in there, but I only got 11 cards, and this is going to be holding 12. So I took one from our holding rig, which is another reason why I'm glad I got one of these holding rigs dedicated for Nvidia and for AMD. Additionally, we do have a couple other cards that we will be throwing on our holding rig. We have 4 of these RX 6600 XTs ready to go. Of course, we only have 3 more slots, so we are going to be having an extra RX 6600 XT. However, I do have a couple more of these coming in, so what I am going to go ahead and do is start on another rig frame and motherboard and power supply in anticipation for additional 6600s and 6600 XTs that will be rolling in. We do have another frame here, which I will likely get started. We have another motherboard, processor, RAM. However, we are currently waiting on power supplies. If you watched the last video, I did mention the 3090 setup that we have. Over on that side of the bunker, we have 8 3090s running right now, having some thermal throttling issues. We did get thermal pads in, so I think I will make a video on repadding, regardless of moving some of the cards off of it. And by moving cards off of it, we're going to be taking 2 from there, so that's a 6-card rig, and placing 2 on here so that we have 2 6-card rigs. That said, the rig over there that has 8 3090s has 2 1600 watt power supplies, so we are going to be pulling a 1600 watt power supply off of that, replacing it with the 1300 because we're going from 8 to 6 cards, and then we will be adding a additional 1300 watt power supply on this rig to power the other 2. Now, I know the 1300 is a little overkill, but like I mentioned in the other video, I'd rather spend the extra couple bucks and get a higher wattage power supply so it's interchangeable regardless of what cards I put on there, and future-proofing it. So that said, we will have an extra 1600 watt power supply, I want to say 2 to 3 days from now, which I will throw on here. And I know 1600 watts is again overkill for 6600 XTs, but besides future-proofing and everything like that, it does come with 9 dedicated VGA ports, and that makes setting these things up extremely simple and not having to use any kind of adapters or anything like that to power the risers. So that said, we'll probably get that one all set up, ready to go maybe this weekend, and then we will have, I think right off the bat, we're going to leave the 6600s on there, but we're going to take off the 6600 XTs and place them on here, meaning we will have 4 of them. And hopefully by next week sometime, we might even have another 3 or 4 and slowly add on and build to this. We are going to have some more 6600s rolling in as well, so I probably will get another frame up and going for that. So for this rig build, we will be using our 4 capacitor risers, the blacked out versions here, and we will be powering all of them via 6-pin. So additionally with these, we will be using our GPURisers.com 18 AWG splitter cables right here. Now I do have them sitting on top of our 3070 Ti rig here, just getting a little toasty, slow cooking it up here. No, I'm just kidding. We really just don't have a whole lot of counter space in here. And nothing's on this rack right here. We used to have our test bench and our 3090 rig, but we put the 3090 rig all the way up there just so that it's further away from everything. I think we're probably going to end up doing something like that on that side as well with the 3090s. But we will be utilizing a lot of splitter cables. I think probably 9. There's 9 VGA ports here on this power supply. So actually 1 8-pin from the power supply here on the P Plus version and the G Plus, the new series EVGA has, it's actually a splitter cable coming off of the power supply already. So it's an 8-pin to dual 8-pin. And there's 4 of those, and then there's an additional 4 8-pin to 8-pin. So on those cords that are 8-pin to dual 8-pin, we can actually put a splitter cable on each 8-pin. So that will actually turn 1 8-pin from the power supply into 2 splitter cables, which ultimately gives you 2 8-pins. So I'm making that a little bit complicated. Really, it's just going to be 4 of these 8 pins from a single 8-pin from the EVGA power supply. Now, we are not actually going to be utilizing 4 8-pins. We will be utilizing 4 6-pins. On our splitter cables on each side of these, you could slide off the side there. It's kind of difficult because these are, like I said, true 18 AWG. If they slide off real easy, they're probably not 18 AWG. So make sure whatever cables you do use, that they are true 18 AWG. That's very important. But we will be using 6 pins to power our risers here. So really, 1 8-pin from the power supply will be able to power 4 of our risers. And we're gonna have 12 cards on here. So that means we're gonna only need 3 8-pins from the power supply to power every riser on this rig. So if we use 3 of the 9 8-pins that are available on this power supply, that leaves us with 6 8-pins to power 12 cards. And again, utilizing splitter cables, that will be more than enough. Each 8-pin from the power supply can handle up to 255 watts. So long as it is a good power supply, good cables, thick gauge wire. I would not recommend that on no-name power supplies, but since each card will be utilizing, actually, I don't know what exactly these cards are pulling. That is a good question. And I will be able to tell once we get this thing connected up to a PDU. I know it's going to be less than 70 watts per card, so that would be 140 per strand, which is far below the 255 that this thick gauge wire is able to handle. So that said, this is just going to be the first part video for building this. I kind of wanted to go over everything that I'm doing. It is very, very similar to the 2 12 card 6600 XT rigs that I have back there, but I will go ahead and get all of this stuff unboxed right here, go over the cards, and then probably in tomorrow's video I will lay them out all on the rig here. Again, I'm not trying to make these videos 20 minutes long, and I know I ramble a lot. Some people tell me, oh no, the rambling is good. Some people say, you gotta stop talking so much. So I figured I'd include the rambling, but just kind of split the videos up a little bit more. But that said, let me go ahead and unbox all these cards and take this off of here before I hit the table and it smashes on the ground. That said, I'll be right back with all these cards taken out. All right, guys, I got all of the 11 cards taken out of their boxes and the XFX over there. I do like these Gigabyte Eagle cards. I first was introduced to these with the RX 3060 Ti's, or I'm sorry, RTX 3060 Ti's. I've been around AMD cards a little too much recently. They're extremely budget friendly, full plastic. Again, when you're running such low wattage through these cards, I'm not at all worried about that. Now, I know in my test bench video, I was making fun of these XFX cards. Super thin, the heat sink is just kind of a block of aluminum, and you know, real plasticky. But all of that was before I opened up a Power Color, what's this called? Fighter, I think. And this card definitely takes the cake for just most low budget, worst card I've unboxed so far in the 6000 series and the RTX 3000 series. Now, again, these are very low end cards. I'm not trying to make fun of them or anything like that, but it really just does show how crazy the GPU market is when these cards that I'm holding right now are now $400. Cards like this, you know, I want to say 3-4 years ago, in the range, the low end range, low budget cards, were maybe around $100 to $150, and possibly even cheaper than that. It's just absolute bonkers where the GPU market is right now. But I did get 3 of those, so you know, really how the GPU market is going with these is they're all kind of the same price, plus or minus $10, I want to say, especially when you're looking at third-party markets. So I don't know if you guys could tell with the different cards that I have, I wanted to try all the different models, and I'm really actually happy with these Hellhound cards. I was going to think that they were a little, you know, tacky with the blue light, as you can see right there, and everything like that. The cooling was going to be bad, but I'm actually pleasantly surprised with those. I would definitely get more of these Gigabyte Eagles. The only thing I'm worried about with these Gigabytes is these fans are the same exact fans that were on the 2000 series NVIDIA and the 1000 series NVIDIA. And I'm actually still running some 1070s, and man, these fans get bad quick. So I'm worried about that. Haven't had any issues with the other Gigabyte model that we have over there on the 6600 XT rig that we have going. However, I think those are Wind Force editions, but it's all the same fan, really. So 3 fans is a lot of cooling for these cards. I will be putting all 5 of these on the bottom row right here. and then I will go ahead and throw this XFX card in with them. So on the top row, I will go ahead and throw 3 of these Hellhound cards on them. I keep calling them Hellcat, and it's starting to make me think that they didn't call them Hellcat because that is used by Dodge, but who knows. And then of course, these fighters, these Power Color fighters, I will throw on the top as well, thus completing a 12-card 6600 build. So I'm gonna cut it there for this video. Just wanted to show you guys the different cards I'm using, why I'm building it, everything like that. In the next video I do on this, it's just gonna be a 2-part video. I'm gonna throw all of these on. I'm gonna do 6 on the bottom, turn it on, boot up MinerStat, make sure everything works, then do the other 6, put the overclocks on all of it, everything like that. And I'll show you guys the mega hash I'm getting and the total wattage pull from this rig. But that said, I hope everyone watching this has a great rest of their day, and we'll see you guys tomorrow in the part 2.